All right, hello everybody. Welcome back to Trinity Competitive Racing. We are back from the mid-season break here in Britain for round 6 of the Platinum class. And boy, we have a stacked grid today. 19 drivers, a couple of new Golden class drivers making their first attempt in the Platinum class today. It should be a good one. And weather might be a factor, so buckle up, get your popcorn, and get ready to rumble. My name is Cam DeLuca, per usual, and alongside me, Golden Class driver, Sir Charles. What's going on? Alright, so we'll get things situated. I think I'm all set, ready to go. We are now 8 minutes from the end of the session, and Silent, qualifying king, on top right now with a 127 flat. And if you saw Tuesday's race, it was a wet qualifying session, so we didn't really get to see the fastest lap times on Tuesday, but today we have a dry session, and just about everybody is out on track, except for Seafreeze. We'll have to keep that in mind, as he does have a back of the grid penalty from Abu Dhabi. There was a little commotion between he and Seegers right there, and that resulted in him getting penalized. Alright, so the driver I mentioned before, the Golden Class driver making his debut today in the Platinum class, none other than Main Wayne. And if you saw the Golden Class race yesterday, he ended up winning the race.
The entire time?
Yeah.
Well, darn.
Yeah. Hey,
Anyway,
you know what?
I've been talking to myself. Hello, Sir Charles here.
Welcome.
Anyway, like I was saying, track evolution seems to be a bit exaggerated at this place. So I anticipated they'll be well into the 26s, as I've already said 3 times, but you didn't hear the first 2 times, so there you go.
No, I didn't. Hey, you know what though? First week back from the break, I had mic issues in the interview on Tuesday, so could be a little something in the air, in the British air, I guess.
Yeah. And like I said, rain, I guess I didn't say this either, but the rain forecast is expected at the end of the race. I'm not sure if you said this either, but that could mean 10 laps to go. That could also mean with, the last corner, literally. So we'll see what the Codemaster Weather Gods have in store for us. It probably won't make sense one way or the other, but hey, it should make the race interesting at the end at least.
Absolutely, and I was just mentioning Main Wayne before, that Golden Class driver making his debut, I believe, in Platinum Class, won yesterday, and he's already P3 on the board.
Definitely, Main Wayne had pace yesterday, and he got a really good start. I think it was impressive that he was able to he started in hards, probably one of the few, only like 3 drivers in Golden yesterday started in hards. He started in hards in 2nd place. Got the jump on guys on mediums around him, and then was able to hold them off for a little bit too, even on hards. And F&D Cakes, who's not racing tonight, I don't think he's ever done a Golden Class race, but he's able to keep up with him for a little bit. But ultimately, Main Wayne won, I'd say, fairly comfortably, even though FD Cakes was close to him, but not really challenging. So, and they were gone from the rest of the field. But yeah, Wayne, dark horse there. He's already beaten his time qualifying yesterday. I think he ran a 27.4 low yesterday in qualifying. He's already beaten that time. So his B-Tom has gone 26.8. Imagine there's still a little bit of speed left in the track. Nebby coming through Maggots and Beckett's. There's a car sideways in the middle of the track. Hopefully that didn't distract them any. But Nebby is down by a tenth of a half on his time.
Oh, Mebe going wide. He's coming into the pits, so we'll see Mebe. Oh, and take a look here. He sped into the pits. This will be close as to whether or not he gets back out there. I think he'll have enough time.
Yeah, and here's the thing, too. They have not updated this on the game. Pit road speed is very slow. It's a very, very long pit road. The delta is like 28, 27 seconds. A long delta. So if you have a chance to pit under safety car or VSC, it could be a huge advantage for you just because the pit delta is so long in the race. I do agree. I think Nebby will have enough time to get back out around. Now, how much time do you need to get around the track? Because I remember you crossed the line about 2 seconds left on Tuesday. How much time do you need to get out of the pits and get around the track?
Well, keep in mind, that was with rain, so I think that was a little bit different, but I would say, Stanley going sideways there. I would say probably you want to go in between 3:30 and 4, because you have to factor in not only the pit speed, but also how long it takes to get back into the garage and get back out there. Your outlap can be pretty quick if you cut Maggots and Beckett's, which, for clarification, you can do that in qualifying in TCR. So this is one of the quicker outlaps if you cut the track.
Yeah, we've seen some cheeky double slipstreams on outlaps before, people cutting courses to the... You know, I mean, remember freaking, France, you can just do a straight line the entire track if you really need to get a lap in, but, Bats Plus coming through Maggots and Beckett's, looking pretty solid. Is that rain? It's raining.
Oh, no. Just at the end of qualifying, I don't think it will make much of a difference.
Yeah, so it looks like these are the fastest times. Bats Plus is still up on his time. Hopefully the rain doesn't affect him in the last sector.
Yeah, he's headed through turn 17 into turn 18. You got to watch the traction through turn 18, and across the line, P6 for Bats Plus.
Improved by 2.5 tenths. Actually gained about a tenth in the final sector with the rain. So, if you're out on the lap right now, so like Stanley, well, no, Stanley's just starting a lap. Charters is just starting a lap. Got any weed? Where's got any weed? He's barely up on his time. And see, these guys, I don't see. I mean, again, it can rain very, very lightly and not really affect the grip. But usually in these games, the rain picks up fairly quickly. The grip starts to disappear very quickly, so we shall see if and these guys can keep the times going. We'll see what got any weebs got going here. Yeah, he's still improving on his times. Might not be as much as it was originally, but yeah, it looks like the rain's not really affecting guys so far.
I will say the rain is picking up, though, and I think if you give it a minute, it's going to be a factor. So B-Tom's looking pretty, but we'll see. Got any weave to the line?
Yeah, about a tenth.
Yeah.
I think the rain did affect it, though, if I had to be honest.
I'm telling you, I don't know if we're going to see much improvements. Just about everybody out on a lap right now to close out qualifying, but rain is a factor, and it's definitely slowing them down.
Oh, I know he's on an out lap. And you see guys start to retire here, and then silent. No, that's just an out lap. Yeah, we've seen guys starting to retire here, so that might be all she wrote for qualifying.
Yeah, let's watch Silent here into turn 3 and into turn 4. I want to take a look at his first sector time. This will really give an indication as to how bad the rain is. headed down the straightaway. DRS still active, so the rain isn't that bad yet. But yeah, he's down already by a tenth.
Yeah, and I frankly don't see that improving, so...
Oh, there's a car sideways, and Alpine off the track, should be out of the way, but both Ferraris making their way into Copse, and they're both obviously quick drivers, and second and fifth right now.
Yeah, it looks like Main Wayne's going to secure a P4 for a very good showing from him. Currently not the points leader, the SPM's the points leader, but he thoroughly outclassed him yesterday, so Main Wayne... don't look over your shoulder if you're SPM in the golden class. But yeah, it looks like everyone else is pretty much what's going to be for qualifying. Let's see if there's anyone worth mentioning. The Aston Martins, well, Seafreeze, you knew was starting at the back. D'Angelo's towards the back. Trying to see if there's any surprises. Really, and really, there's no real huge surprise.
Seagrass is first crash of the day into the pits.
Yeah, I guess he just decided to crash for funsies there, but yeah, no real surprises really throughout the grid. I guess the only surprise maybe D'Angelo starting as far down as he was, but yeah, interesting qualifying there.
It was, and B-Tom starting on pole position, and he is looking to stay there for the first time all season because B-Tom, the reigning champion, although he's been consistent, he has yet to win a race this year.
Yeah, I believe it's 4 second places in a row. Yeah, currently has a 14-point lead over Vader, who's been on the podium every single race, but also without a win. Silent has won one race, and I believe it was Seafreeze won one race, and then I believe it was Lawrence won the rest, I believe. I'm probably missing something. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, and well, it'll be interesting to see. I want to see if B-Tom does his signature flying lap for a warm-up lap, or for a formation lap here. That'd be interesting to see, but in theory, you're supposed to stay within 10 car lengths of the car in front of you, but if you're taking a hot lap on the formation lap, I don't think that's necessarily required anymore, but yeah, should be a interesting race here. So, what's your planned strategy coming in?
Well, I mean, we'll have to see what the weather does, but I think medium hard is the way to go. You want to take the mediums around 10 laps, give or take, on the situation. Looking pretty nice, though. Man, you might want to take a chair out, you sit out in the sun, and just enjoy yourself, because besides that one little cloud above the Silverstone sign right there, it's looking pretty nice.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see if that holds up. I kind of agree with you. I tend to like the mediums to hard strategy better. But it seems like the platinum guys like to go to do the hards, the mediums. So again, the reason why I like the mediums to hards is because you get that early safety car. You can essentially pit. The hards can go about 20 laps, exactly 20 laps, because I had a puncture in my 20th lap right as I was coming into the pits last night. So tire wear will be a factor. Granted, my setup was probably eating tires, but anyway. Regardless, again, like I said, with that pit delta, if you can get an early safety car, that can really give you an advantage. And it just depends on the safety cars. But again, just like in Golden Class, we have not seen very many safety cars in these races. So, it could. I think you kind of have to go in with the mentality that there won't be any safety cars if you're one of these drivers. And Silverstone isn't necessarily a track that lends itself to safety cars. And I know you probably don't like me saying that, but
I was about to say I can beg to differ.
Far away, but
yeah. Well, you know what? We've talked about strategy. We've talked about weather. Who do we got on our podium, Sir Charles?
Okay, so this is one of Taz's favorite tracks, one of his best tracks at least. He's been very good here in the past, so it's hard to bet against him. I think he's going to get that win finally. And again, you can win by consistency, but at the same time, Taz is one of those guys who can just rip 4 wins in a row. And looks like he is going for his hot lap formation lap right off the start here. But so I think Taz is going to win. It's going to be kind of a boring answer, but I think Vader is going to get up there. I think he's going to keep it close. I'm going to say Vader goes P5. I'm going to go with the consistent guys. I'm going to say Bats Plus goes P3. Mebby, I like him. He's got pace, but this is a place where...
I don't like him right now. Did you see him spin out?
I did not. But corner cutting is very easy to do around here, and Mebby has kind of been known to get some unnecessary corner cutting penalties and 3-second time penalties up front. And of course there's Main Wayne there looking to make us all look stupid if he gets in the box, which wouldn't necessarily be that big of a surprise. But I'm going to go Taz, Vader, and Bats Plus in my vote.
Alright, so I am also going to take Mr. Taz, B-Tom, whatever you want to call him, for the win. I think he's been close all year, and keep in mind, we have not mentioned this yet, but his biggest threat week to week is Lawrence, and Lawrence is not here, so I think that's what has held him back. B-Tom P1. I'll go Silent P2. I'll be boring as well. I'll take those two in the top two, and then we're going to go down a little bit of ways. I was going to pick Mebe until he spun on the formation lap there. Maybe this isn't his day, but...
well, come on, you can't pick a top three.
No, I'm not going to. I'm going to take Darth Vader, P3. He's finished on the podium just about every race this year. Hasn't won, but he's been very consistent.
Yeah, he has P3 figured out, that's for sure. I think he's like Taz. I think he has 4 P3s and like 1 P2, I believe. It's very consistent, but yeah, currently, yeah, I'm sure if there's a lull in the race somewhere, we go over the point standings. But Main Wayne can't park. Let's see who can park here. Rafa Hulk had some very good parallel parking last night. Let's see if Mebby can parallel park here. Can he? That is terrible. That is not going to help your start. He should have just disqualified himself. But anyway.
Yeah. Just pack it up and go home, right? Just leave
over
while you're on top. All right, here we go. Round 6, the British Grand Prix for the Platinum class. Lights out and away we go from the British Grand Prix. Who gets off the line good? B-Tom gets a pretty good jump on Silent. As they head down into turn 1, things tend to get very tight in this corner. Pretty clean though with the leaders as there's commotion in the back. Some drivers going off course. I believe everybody still is in one piece. 3 wide. D'Angelo back in 15th. Along with, and there's a spin.
Around.
Big crash. D'Angelo also around.
That's got any weebs around. Oh, got some of the Red Bulls clanging into each other. Looks like Seafreeze got off the line pretty good, up 5 spots. Seagrist is around as well. The Alpines not having a good day. Seagrist had a bit of an interesting race last night. But, yeah, not off to a good start for him. And, yeah, a lot of argy-bargy, a lot of small spins, but nothing too terrible. I will say, true to form, the Platinum class guys all starting on the hards, pretty much, except for Andy Wu, who was making a move on Main Wayne.
Yeah, and that's through Maggots and Beckett's. It's hard to pass through there, but they made it work.
Yeah, and I think Main Wayne did smart there to not force the issue.
Boy, I love this camera shot here. As P6, Bats Plus behind Main Wayne. Main Wayne dropped a couple of spots off the start, and we will take a look at the position changes. Flying Jippo up 6 spots off the start, and like we said, Seafreeze back to the grid penalty, but he's already up to P14.
That's a good start for those guys. That'll be interesting to see if maybe Chargers has a little bit of wing damage. It does appear he does not, but he did have some argy-barginess with his teammate there. Bats Plus appears to get around Dirt Shark, or maybe just holding him off there for a second. But yeah, maybe made his bizarre parking work. Or at least it didn't hurt him anyway.
True. And we didn't really talk about the tires, actually. We talked about strategy, but we didn't... Ooh, good timing. The pit strategy just came up on the screen. Good timing game. Most people on the hards, but Andy Wu on the mediums pressuring Darth Vader.
Trying to make those mediums work.
Oh, Vader gives him the space through Cops. great respectful racing, and Andy Wu up another spot.
Andy's also one of those guys. He's always been fast, but it's just a matter of him putting together a complete race.
But he does have to get within that 1 second gap, as next lap DRS is active, and he is just outside of that 1 second barrier, but he's gonna need to get within a couple more tenths of Mebe.
Everyone's pretty single file down through the pack. Nothing really to report on at the moment.
Mebe fastest lap. Dirk Shark also one of those guys on medium tires. In P8, he has gained a couple spots off the start, but this is where things will get spicy with that DRS button.
Yeah, but if you notice, literally every single driver all the way down, the top 18 are literally all on a giant DRS train right now, so I'm not sure what's going to happen, although Stanley looks like he's out of DRS range, so he might have a bit of trouble, but he did have DRS in that straightaway, so I guess he just didn't have a poor exit, but yeah, as long as there's this train going, it's going to be hard to make overtakes happen unless the driver in front of you makes a mistake, or if you get a really good exit. As TJ is all over Raikkonen with basically 100% battery.
TJ had a good run in Abu Dhabi. It's been a real struggle to the start of this season, but he got some points in Abu Dhabi, and yeah, he looking pretty good on the battery, and that is something to keep in mind, Charles. You can really use the battery more than usual here, as Ben is getting naughty already on lap 3.
Yeah, that's not a good sign, but yeah, battery does regenerate fairly decently here, so you can use it, you know.
TJ goes around as we were on board with him, and that is a commentator's jinx if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, he just got him the throttle a little too much there. It was a fairly odd place to spin, I must say. Well, it's not an odd place. It's easy to spin out there, but yeah. Oh, and now his tires are lit up. Yeah, he's trying to hang on here. Dirt Shark all over Bats Plus here. Really needs to get a move on if he wants to make those medium strategy work. I think Andy Wu's up enough spots where you can say that the gamble's paying off for him, at least, for now.
Yeah, and he is closing in on the top 3, so although the strategy's not in his favor, Andy Wu could spice things up a little bit. What did Seafree say on the broadcast one time? Hot spice and everything
Sugar
nice,
spice
something.
And everything nice.
Yeah, something stupid like that.
Yeah, Seafree tends to go off the rails when he's commentating by himself sometimes.
He just gets excited. It's TCR, man. This is where it's at. Oh, Andy Wu, not the best maggots and Beckett's. He still has DRS, but he take a look at the battery though. I'm not sure where his pace truly is at. He's already at 22% on the battery.
Yeah, I think he's got decent pace. Right now, if you're one of the guys on the mediums, you're wanting a safety car, like, right now. So you can pit, take the hards to the end, like I said, with that huge pit delta. I mean, let me tell you, those guys could be in a real good spot. Like I said, we just haven't seen hardly any safety cars this year in the Platinum class, so. Vader, the fastest lap. It's a very quick pace there, 30.9. But also, too, one reason, you know, I mentioned the rain, that could be one of the reasons why they put the hards on. They're expecting rain at the end of the race, towards the end of the race. Like I said, we don't know if that's coming on lap 17 or lap, 26. They could just be, everyone could be just thinking, hey, let's take these hards to whenever it starts raining. Like I said, the hards, this is one of the tracks where hards will not last the entire distance. So that rain needs to come at some point. I'm sure there's some guys here who are better on the tires than I am, so maybe they can make the whole distance, but I'd be impressed if they could.
Seafreeze gains a spot on Chargers, looking for another one on Flying Jippo, and there was a good battle with him and Chargers there through, what corner was that? I have to get all my corners right. I believe it was Village. Yeah, one thing I like about this track, Charles, very, very unique when it comes to the names. Just about every corner has its own particular name. You can't just say turn 10 or turn 5.
Here in Spa, too. I like Spa as well.
I agree. And don't look now, but Silent is hounding B-Tom for the top spot. And B-Tom, though, has not touched the battery, so we'll see where B-Tom's pace truly lies.
Like I said, this is one of B-Tom's better tracks. I would expect we got a yellow flag. That is someone around out of the final corner. Dirt Shark on the mediums. There's no bueno for him. Looks like Seafreeze is going to get around him a wild bit as well, so that medium tire strike. Now Dirt Shark's really hoping for a safety car. He can still make that strategy work if we get a safety car here.
Oh, bumper cars between Seafreeze and Dirt Shark. Dirt Shark struggling for grip after spinning out of the final corner, and after a good start, all of those positions have gone to waste.
Yeah, that's not what you want to see on those medium tires. But I said, top 5 all on a DRS train. Main Wayne's falling back a little bit. But he's still holding a decent pace. Bats Plus behind him. They're kind of all by themselves there. Table for 2. And then you got a big gap back to Stanley. And then it's a DRS train all the way down to Ben Swerving.
Charger's got a good run out of turn 8. Being patient, though, wasn't going to force the move on Seafreeze, but this is a great battle in the midfield, and like you said, all aboard some sort of train, because everywhere you look, there's some DRS train happening.
Yeah, and then you look at some of these guys up top who are really conserving the battery. As Raikkonen and Stanley swap places. Finally, Raikkonen's been hounding Stanley really since the start. So that move was about, 7 laps in the making, if I'm being honest, but yeah, a lot of the guys further down the field have used their battery a lot more, just to be expected. You have to use a lot of battery in order to maintain.
There goes Ben swerving off the final corner. He and D'Angelo were side by side, and I had a feeling that was going to happen.
He got the fastest lap.
Maybe that's what he was going for. He was just trying to get a little bit extra there.
Actually, that seemed like a glitch, because wasn't it like a 126 or something? Well, let me see it. And watch the replay here. I got the stream up. It's a little bit behind what's happening.
Seafreeze flying Jippo, and Jippo has to go off the course. That might get revoked.
That's
not good.
Well, I was just going to say that fastest lap by Ben Swerving will probably hold to the end of the race, but it won't count because he did not run a 126 there. That's a qualifying pace. So I don't know. It was a fun little Codemasters moment, I suppose you call it. But Seafreeze moving up, and yeah, Seafreeze did kind of push him off wide there a little bit, and yeah, Jippo, if he gets yeah, Jippo probably won't be too happy about that, but Seafreeze continues his march forward. Already into the points. Just being smooth and steady. He's right on the back of Stanley and Raikkonen. Raikkonen might be hard to pass as he's got a lot of battery left. But if you look after Raikkonen, it's a 4-second gap all the way up to Bats Plus. We got another yellow. And that
D'Angelo.
is D'Angelo. And it is not... D'Angelo had some good, consistent results at the beginning of the season. These last couple of races have not gone his way.
Well, he did tell me before the race that Britain tends to not be one of his best tracks, and he actually won a couple of races before Britain in the Golden Class last season, and he was not winning in the Golden Class here in Season 14.
Yeah, and I think this is where his season kind of started to go downhill as well. In the Golden Class last year. I seem to remember that. But yeah, not a whole lot happening right now. Right now, Vader has gotten around to Andy Wu. We missed that happening. But now it's only a 3-car train at the top. Let's see if Vader is probably going to be using the battery to try and get into that DRS range. But it's so hard when you're out of the DRS range because you have to make up the time. Because Nebby now has DRS, and he'll be getting it, pulling out a couple tenths on every single straightaway. Silent and V-Tom were very close to each other there. Did not quite catch that. But, yeah.
As is Bats Plus and Main Wayne. And Main Wayne, after his good qualifying, he has slipped down to P7.
Yeah. Like I said, these guys have pretty much been all by themselves for most of the race. So, it'll be interesting to see what Bats Plus his pace is here. And he's got some clean track. Lane goes in a little deep, but no harm, no foul. Nebby for poor exit drops down. That'll give Vader some much-needed DRS, but he did not get DRS. Again, that's the hardest thing when you're at a just out of DRS range. It's like whenever you get close, they'll get DRS again and pull another couple tenths on you. Seafreeze on Stanley. Goes for the same move he probably did on Jippo, but Stanley holds it on the outside. I think Stanley's going to hold the spot, though, but Stanley gives him room.
Good side-by-side racing between those two. Who's going to lift? Contact!
Oh, don't run into each other on the straightaway there, buddy. That was unnecessary.
Not sure how Stanley will feel about that. He's low on the battery. Got to follow Seafreeze into Maggots and Beckett's, but Seafreeze has the position for the time being.
They're both really low on the battery. Now, if I'm Stanley here, then, you know... Seafreeze is not going to have DRS. Here comes Stanley back.
Seafreeze going defensive. His light is blinking.
Yeah. So is Stanley's. Well, no, actually Stanley's 12%, but...
Yeah, the way...
Vader is still just barely outside of DRS range.
Man, the way Seafreeze's light is blinking, you would think he's a Caterpillar dump truck. Same with Stanley, both of them. They should start their own construction business! Ah, man, you might have to after nearly crashing there, Stanley. Oof, not sure what that was. Oh, Dirk Shark has trouble in turn 3.
And it just goes from bad to worse for Dirt Shark. I think it's time for, you're in the pit window for the mediums here. I will say, it is starting to cloud up already. It was nice, bright and sunny, barely a cloud in the sky to start. It is much cloudier now.
Yeah, keep in mind with the weather, we saw at the end of qualifying, the rain affected it. Will that play into the race? Yeah, really, I'm surprised as to how much people have been using the battery already, considering this track really does not harm the battery much, but Silent is as close as he has been on this stint.
It closed a couple laps ago, but... yeah, B-Tom just tends to... You never really see B-Tom make mistakes under pressure. That's one of the things that's... really, it's probably one of the reasons he's won 3 championships in the Platinum class already, so... we'll see if Silent can keep the pressure on and maybe force a mistake, but it's very hard to do, and then, you gotta imagine if these guys... Rain is imminent, which we assumed it is. The Alpines continue their rough day.
Yeah, 18th and 19th with penalties. That's as worse as it gets right there. I don't think you can do any worse. Besides retiring, but we don't want to say anything, though.
As soon as you say that, we're going to have about... Now we're getting spread out. We're seeing some gaps form. Like us outside of DRS range.
Okay. You notice here, I noticed B-Tom use a lot of battery. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Take a look at the screen, ladies and gentlemen. We called it. This is going to be a wet finish to this race.
Well, now Andy Wu is probably looking like a genius, because, would he be in 5th if he didn't put on the mediums? I don't know where he started, but...
Wow.
They're already pitting.
Well, DRS is disabled. This is going to get crazy. Everybody into the pits one at a time.
What, they have a monsoon? This is going to be horrible for Vader. He's going to get double stacked. This could take him right out of the race. Bats Plus is probably far enough back, it won't affect him. Raikkonen is going to get screwed here.
Oh, Seafreeze staying out. We have a car around. That is Cam. And I am surprised he's the only one that has spun out so far because, like you said, it just started to downpour all of a sudden, and I think it's going to be a really wet race.
This is like a Singapore monsoon season. Like, I don't know what Seafreeze is doing. I guess he's thinking maybe he has to take some sort of gamble to get up front of the leaders, but, you want to take a gamble, but you don't want to take suicide.
No, he made a mistake. Look at him. He is struggling for grip.
Yeah,
literally, I have never seen the rain come in so fast on this game. That was insane. Just all of a sudden.
And Seafreeze had a free spot with Raikkonen because Raikkonen got double stacked. I mean, you see, look at the Raikkonen's all the way behind Stanley now.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
You know what? Darth Vader didn't lose much time. I feel like.
Well, he didn't lose any positions, but he did lose a good bit of time.
Right.
But yeah, B-Tom is really good in the rain. So this could be curtains. I hate to say it. I mean, I don't know how the rest of these guys are in the rain.
Oh, take a look at this. Oh, he gave room. I was a little worried there. They caught Seafreeze really quickly, but Seafreeze gives way. Take a look at everybody going by him. Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, look at him. He can't get any sort of throttle input. There is absolutely no grip.
Yeah, and if you look at it, we had 18 drivers pit that lap. I'm not entirely sure what Seafreeze was going for there, and I'm sure he's asking the same thing. Now, Vader's probably just like, get out of the way.
Yep, he did. Last second, but he did get out of the way. Here comes Andy Wu. And yeah, Seafreeze's race up in smoke right now. Not literally, but I find it hard to believe he's going to get a good finish.
Wet spray. Or something. I don't know. So yeah. And suddenly, after a crazy lap, we're right back where we started from, and everyone's going to be, well, it's pretty much intermediates to the end here. It's going. One thing it will do is they have a yellow flag. That is an Alpine, I believe. Is that an Alpine? Or is that a Williams? That's Jippo, isn't it? That's Jippo.
Yeah, I believe that's Jippo. I couldn't find who that was, but yeah, Jippo having some trouble here in the rain. And that's the thing, Charles. Who can adapt? This is what it comes down to. We were clear just a few laps ago, and now they're all in intermediates.
Yeah, definitely. And Silent has been able to close in a little bit on B-Tom. But it's going to be even harder to overtake now because everyone is going to be... You know, there's no DRS. There's no push-to-pass magic button here. You're going to have to earn it the hard way. That being said, there will be more mistakes being made by the drivers. But yeah, so some guys hoping for a safety car now just to get caught back up. Namely Seafreeze. Also Vader, too. Got to keep in mind, Vader, like I said, it's only a 14-point gap at the top of the standings between B-Tom and Vader. And that is looking to grow significantly, and you know, if it results hold. Not sure who's getting the fastest lap. It's not Ben Swerven, because that did not run a 126. Sorry, Ben, break it to you. But, you know, if it holds right now, it'll be, what, the 27-point lead, and suddenly it's more than a race. And, you know, there's a sense of comfort when you get your points lead up above, you know, 26 points, because then you know, you have that full race advantage, and there's just that's such a mental comfort thing, if you will, at least in my opinion. It is when it's, like it is now, a 14-point lead. So, Mebby seems to have decent pace in the wet. He's staying within a second of Silent as well. And Vader does not seem to be having that gap stayed. It's actually increasing slightly. Was that at 5 seconds? It's actually increased slightly. But he's kind of by himself right now. So is Andy Wu. So is Main Wayne and Bats Plus are right together again. I think Bats Plus probably got held up a little bit from a double stack. Probably what allowed Main Wayne to get past him. Well, once again, just in their own little world, battling it out.
Yeah, Bats Plus had a huge slip in turn 7, could not get the foot down on the throttle, and he lost a lot of time. Dirk Shark got any weep side by side.
This is the battle just outside of the points. Well, we have a yellow flag. That is Ben Swerven on the exit of the, what's that, the loop.
Good job. Correct. Yeah, Seafreeze. Well, Seafreeze is back where he started. he did a good job of making up a lot of spots, but I'm sure he's going to be kicking himself after making that decision to stay out.
Yeah, I believe...
Ooh. Who is that in the grass? Flying Jippo. He seems to keep the car straight, though, but he's now side by side with D'Angelo, and D'Angelo looks to have that made.
Right now, Omar Southnauer and Mike Crack are not happy people at the moment. Well, I look at Silent. He is halved the gap again. Remember, no DR. Well, it wouldn't matter. No DRS assist with that. What happened?
No, nothing. I'm just watching Flying Jippo just manhandle that wheel. This is fun stuff. Ah, he's in the grass again. Yeah, he's. Whew,
mowing the lawn. You don't mow when it rains, son.
Yeah, man, he is getting a workout in. Come on, do some reps. Do it again. Do it again.
Do it for the cameras.
Now he didn't do it. Yeah, now, okay.
Oh, Ben in the pits.
Yep, he's done. Not been his race. Yeah, flying.
So it's like Silent is going. Oh, and Andy Wu. Time penalty, and he's having a pretty good race up until that point.
Yeah, still bad lap for Williams.
Yeah, definitely. But if you look at Andy Wu, I mean, he could fall down to P7. But at the same time, I mean, I don't think he's going to fall unless he makes a mistake any further out than that. Because look, it's 7 seconds behind Bats Plus. I mean, so still a lot to fight for if you're Andy. Looking at a solid points finish, maybe even a top 5, and eke that gap out a little bit. Will be interesting. We have not seen a wet race in Golden Class. It'll be interesting to see how Main Lane's pace is here in the wet. So far, so good, I'd say. As B-Tom has a bit of a wiggle. I'm sure Silent saw that. Is wanting to pile on the pressure even more now.
Yeah, and you know what? B-Tom has been using the battery, so maybe Silent has been a little bit stronger in the rain. They're about even on the battery, and I know you said he had a slippage, but they are right there. And if they get together, which has happened this year, Nebe could be in position as D'Angelo, boy, his misfortunes continue. And Aston Martin, I feel like we say this every week, they have just haven't had things go their way.
So good. They started so good.
It's all collapsed.
What's the record for most second place finishes in a row?
Might be B-Tom if Silent gets him here.
I would say 5 second place finishes in a row. Of course, I mean, even if that happens, I mean, Mebi's only like Mebi must have made a mistake, because Mebi was, well within the second, but Mebi's still back there lurking. Vader seems to have the same pace as the guys up front. The problem is he's just, 5 seconds behind them.
Yeah, not a good third sector for Mebe. He's out of that 1 second gap, which doesn't really do anything in the rain, but he's lost a good amount of time, and it's hard when you have that little of battery compared to the top two.
Yeah, battery consumption becomes a lot more important in the rain, because that's all you have. That's all you have, really, in order to get past people. No DRS. And, if you're Silent, you have to be mentally preparing yourself to go full send on B-Tom. And, B-Tom likes to go full send, while attacking and on defense. So, I think these guys got to be prepared to get their elbows out. We have a yellow flag. That is... Who is that? It's Jippo.
He's working out too hard. Getting too much action in on that wheel.
B-Tom went wide there. That's going to be a warning, probably.
Yeah, penalties. I feel like I've already seen a lot of people track extend, and that could definitely play into consideration by the end of this race.
Especially in the rain. Like I said, you don't have as much traction, you don't have as much control over your car. It's very easy just to go a couple inches over the white line and get a penalty. But I will say this, B-Tom, Silent, almost never, and I'll throw Vader in there too, you almost never see these guys get 3 second time penalties. That is, rarer than a, I don't know, a flying pig or something, I don't know.
And it's rarer than me getting a British Grand Prix victory. How about that?
Oh, man.
It just doesn't happen at this track.
I remember You can say that about me too, because remember when remember back when we were in the silver class, you crossed the line first, but got demoted post race, and then I was in second, trying to get around you, and spun on my own, not knowing that I didn't need to pass you at all, and basically gave the win away. I think it was, I believe Glenn got the win in that race, but yeah, I felt like I felt like an idiot regardless, but I felt like a huge idiot when I saw you had a penalty.
Well, Martin Truex Jr. said this one time, but he may have won a battle, but he didn't win the war, and I believe you won the war that year in the end.
Yeah. And Martin Truex Jr. Did not hold up his end of the bargain, so, you know.
No, maybe that's not the best quote, because he kind of ate his words.
Yeah, he really ate his words.
I think D'Angelo is...
again.
No, that was D'Angelo.
Oh.
I believe.
We got a spin. Maybe we didn't have a spin. I don't know what that... There's a yellow flag in Sector 2. I forget what's the section, the old finish section there?
That would be the Hangar Strait. I think I pronounced that correctly.
No. Not
no?
That one.
Oh, no, that's not... No, I'm looking at the map incorrectly. That's Woodcut Strait, right? The Woodcut area?
That sounds right.
Yeah, I think I was looking at the map wrong. My bad.
Guys weaving here. Stanley weaving, trying to defend from Charger. I was getting ready to say Stanley's lights blinking. Of course his lights blinking. It's raining. Like Raikkonen made a mistake and dropped back a few spots, so Dirt Shark back into the points.
Oh, but he really missed his breaking point, and he has to lose a lot of time as Raikkonen trying to make a move into turn 17 as they are side by side.
It's not good to drift a Formula 1 car.
No, not ideal.
It doesn't usually work.
No. Not in the rain, especially.
So now it's Dirt Shark, Raikkonen, Johnny Weeb, and TJ, and Chargers makes a bold move on the outside of Stanley, and then almost spins it.
Man, Chargers got... there's Stanley off in the grass. He saves it. I was about to say Chargers got much better acceleration, and I think he's doing better than Stanley.
Dirt Shark was a little deep there, but like he's going to be able to hold it.
Godney Weeb pressuring Raikkonen, who is slipping. Godney Weeb around the outside. Loose on corner exit. Trying to get the throttle down. They're side by side in the cops.
What's TJ going to do? He's sitting there looking at this like, I don't know what's going to happen. Raikkonen's going to lose 2 spots here.
TJ around the outside through cops, and he's got the spot.
It's a good move by TJ there. TJ, despite the spin earlier, he's still in position to maybe salvage some points if he gets a move on. I think he's faster than Gunn and Weeb at least. The way Stanley and Dirt Shark have been sliding around, of course, as soon as I say that, TJ has a bit of a moment, but I'm pretty sure if you watch these guys closely, they're all having crazy moments. I just want to point out that how the top 4 are really pulling away from everyone else, because that gap back to Andy Wu is now 11.5 seconds. That was not like this.
Are we seeing a little bit more rain, do you think? I feel like these guys are struggling a lot the last couple of laps. I get, tire fall off, but I mean, look at Stanley. These guys are really struggling, and I feel like the rain on the screen has become more dominant.
And I've been watching the gaps. Silent made a mistake, and then was able to immediately wheel back in. D-Tom. Nebby made a mistake because he got right back to Silent again, but then dropped back again. And I'll tell you, the guy who is suddenly seems to be the fastest guy on the track is Vader in P4. Might be a little too late. But yeah, like you said, I mean, they dropped Andy Wu, and I mean, that's not necessarily that huge of a surprise. No offense to him. Oh, we got a spin. There's Raikkonen. That's not surprising the way he was driving the past couple laps. I'm really struggling in the rain. That would be me, by the way. With Raikkonen, I can't drive in the rain either. So, we're probably much better at it than I am.
Man,
will make you feel any better.
I don't know, man. I'm not a huge fan of the rain. Maybe in qualifying on Tuesday it went well, but I would prefer it to be dry. But dude, I'm telling you, I think the rain has picked up. These guys are struggling right now.
Everyone would, except the fastest guy on the track right now, Vader. He loves racing in the rain. I don't know why. but he really likes racing in the rain. He likes the skill and finesse that it requires, and it's at least a lot faster than Mebby right now. Oh, and B-Tom went a little deep there.
Yeah, he did. Here's Silent, and this could be the battle right here for the lead. Silent is there on B-Tom. We've seen these two battle for the top spot this year. They're both sideways.
Yeah, and I was really nervous for Silent there, because right when you're on the back of him, that's so easy just to grab a little too much throttle, because you want to make the pass right then and there. And, oh, B-Tom with a little wiggle. You gotta imagine these guys are getting sweaty in the seats right now as Silent... Oh man, he is sliding the thing through those turns here.
He is. That was such a good camera angle of the helicopter shot throughout that entire sequence of corners. And Silent looking pretty sporty right now, I will say. But like you said, man, his teammate Darth Vader eating up that gap. And, you know, he might not get the win, but a podium is not out of reach.
Another guy who's really liking the rain right now, as Jippo retires in the pits, is Dirt Shark. He has pulled out, and the guy's behind him, and he is getting ready to make a move on Chargers. Dirt Shark is on the move right now, and he's not too far behind Bats Plus. You know, with the pace that he's been having, you know, it's not out of the question here.
Cam, TJ, Cam with the crossover. TJ's got the spot.
Oh man, Silent had a big moment there.
Yeah, he did.
And somehow didn't lose that much time. Oh, we got a yellow. Who was that? Oh, I think that's just a car in the pits. Oh boy.
Yep.
I'm telling you, who gained that lap? Mebby. Who gained on Mebby that lap? Vader. I think by the time we get to the last lap, we could have 4 cars with about half a second between each other.
It's gonna get
Silent
good.
was a great exit there.
Yeah, I think safety car is out of reach, so this is going to be it for the win between these guys at the front. B-Tom struggled there out of turn 6.
Bats Plus had a big moment. He's dropped back. Now Dirt Shark again. Really liking the rain. Already on the back of Bats Plus. But like I said, Bats Plus had him staked that last lap.
Oh, he might not like it as much as you think.
Yeah, well... Yeah, he's making up time, that's for sure.
These two still going at it. Cam and TJ, a little wheel banging. There, more wheel banging between the two. They somehow keep it straight, and they're headed down the straightaway with Cam in front.
We got a yellow. Oh, that's Raikkonen again.
Yeah, this is not his forte today, apparently.
And B-Tom got a good exit down the hangar straight.
Now let's check in with these guys after we check in with Dirt Shark and Bats Plus.
Looks like Dirt Shark gets the move done.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be it for Dirt Shark, because he is 10.5 seconds behind Main Lane, who has really held his own, I feel like, in this race. So, good for him. See if he can hopefully bring it home. Same with Andy Wu. Both of those guys having very solid races.
Look at these leaders here. They do have to approach Segrist, and I don't think physically that will be a limitation, but when it comes to focus and distractions, maybe B-Tom is at a disadvantage.
And Segrist is smart. I think he'll get out of the way here once they actually get up to overtaking him. He'll try and stay on the lead lap as long as possible, but I think once they get to him, he'll plow the way. So we have a car. It's Alfa Romeo. It's Stanley.
Yeah. I saw him and Seafreeze briefly went side by side. Maybe something happened there, but Stanley went around.
Act 2 of that battle, and so Mebby back in the picture. And look who is coming. He is charging. That is Mr. Vader. I don't think he's going to have enough time to get all the way up to B-Tom, but he has a very real chance of keeping his podium streak alive here, because he has run Mebby down from a long ways back. All the top 3, really.
Yeah.
And Segrist got out of the way of B-Tom, did not get out of the way of Silent. Again, it doesn't make a huge difference. It can be very distracting.
Two are close. We have 2 side-by-side battles in the midfield. There's contact, repeated contact, and that really hurt Chargers. Here comes Gani Weeb to the inside, and there is calamity in the midfield.
Oh, here comes Cam. Cam's going to try and get everybody here. Oh, we got some contact. Oh, and the final corner. That's a VSC virtual safety car. That's kind of...
What? Where did Seegers retire? Was that on track? Let's go with Andy Wu here. Was that on track?
There's a huge stack up with the top 4 there. I think the top 4 might have had an issue.
Let's take a look.
You just missed that?
And he is... I just saw him. He was stuck on the... Something happened there. That was really weird.
Yeah, the top 4 were all stacked up there. I don't know what happened.
In the world?
We apologize for missing that. But
yeah, really, but we don't... You can't really blame us when you have these 4 literally beating and banging. Like, that's the center of attention at that moment. As Dirk Shark gets a drive-through, his race is over.
And look who really benefited from that. Would be B-Tom. He really got the jump there on the VSC. I wonder if maybe B-Tom just got a little sideways and just kind of stacked everyone up, and then Seegers had a moment. I mean, I'm just kind of spitballing here, but I mean, that seems to be kind of maybe what happened.
You know what? Take a look at 4th.
That poster.
Darth Vader. Oh, no! Oh, and he's in the wall as I say that! Darth Vader, after making up a lot of spots in track position in his race, is up in smoke with wing damage. Oh, man,
he's got to keep his head down, though, because look at the gap behind him. He can still maybe salvage a P4 here, or at least a P7, because there is so much gap behind him. I will say this, B-Tom had about a 1.4 second lead on Silent. Silent made that up in no time. I do believe Silent is clearly the fastest guy on track right now. Oh, and B-Tom goes real deep there! B-Tom is struggling. And here comes Silent right on his gearbox.
Yeah, we have a hell of a battle in the midfield, but we'll keep an eye on this for now! Oh, this is good stuff. Yeah,
I mean, we will just tell that these guys are struggling.
Yeah, but we will keep an eye on this.
I think we're at full wet conditions now, man. I think it was kind of obvious before, but now it's just like...
B-Tom's struggling. He got a poor exit there. He drove it too deep into the corner. Silent's going to be right there. Yep, here comes Silent down the straightaway.
If you're on the track right now, you are struggling.
Right? Yeah, what am I saying? Oh, man, I want to look at that midfield, but these guys there's too much on the line right here with the championship and with the first spot.
It's literally every single corner, someone's almost spinning. Literally every single driver here. You got a yellow, it's someone spinning, that's towards the back.
Take a look at Cops here, let's see the traction.
Yeah, both B-Tom and Silent have similar battery levels.
Mebe, I think, is out of this conversation. He's too far back and with no battery.
I mean, all he needs is for these guys to get side by side, and he's going to be right there. Ah, bad exit from Silent. And D'Angelo, oh, he retires in the pits. Yeah, it was not going his way there. Oh, we have a car off. That is Chargers who is out.
He retired on track, I believe.
Yeah, he did. I think.
I want to take a look at his car real quick. I think he retired on track.
Well, he had spun off when he retired, so yeah, you're still not supposed to do that, even if it's the last lap.
Nope. All right, final lap of the race. B-Tom has extended that gap, and he's in a good spot. We have trouble in the back. Dirk Shark has gone off.
Oh, man. Bad to worst to him. I think Bats Plus had a bit of an off, too. B-Tom goes deep again. Silent literally drifting the car.
Good stuff here. That's been Silent's corner. Let's see what he can do here. He's got to get good acceleration.
Things they both have battery, so it's just like there's going to be no advantage to be gained. I feel like he needs a mistake or something, or maybe he just needs to go full send through Cops here coming up. I mean, you just see him fighting the wheel. I mean, look at that. He does get a pretty good exit there, keeps the gap about the same. I think B-Tom used a bit of battery on the exit there once he got up to speed. He's got to go full send here.
Not the best exit out of Cops for Silent. This is looking like B-Tom's race, but he still has a few more corners. Silent a lot stronger through Maggots and Beckett's. And yet again, we have a last lap battle here in the Platinum class. Silent all over his rear wing.
It's a good exit. Remember, Silent's been really good through the last couple corners as well. Looks like Mebby has dropped back and settled for third.
Down the hanger, straight into Stowe. Silent hitting his apex a little bit better as they head into the last 3 corners. B-Tom ahead.
He's going to go for the crossover here.
Not going to get him. At the finish line. Close finish. But it's B-Tom taking home the British Grand Prix round 6 in a thrilling finish where skill was really on display.
And looks like Mr. Vader is going to hang on for P4 here. Andy Wu will get around him, but Andy Wu has the 3-second time penalty, so that shouldn't matter. Godney Weeb has C-Freeze right on his gearbox as they come down the hanger straight.
C-Freeze, look at his battery. He has not been using any of it, but now he is.
Godney Weeb has so much more left as well. I mean, they're both in the same battery situation. C-Freeze still going to get a decent finish despite his blunder here.
He might get him. He might get him. Final corner to the line. It's going to be close.
It's going to be real close.
Saves it, spins it, and finishes P9.
There's just no traction. Like, I mean, he got there, but, like, I mean, you can't hit the throttle at all. I mean, what are you going to do? That was really entertaining there at the end, I gotta say.
I'm telling you, dude, every race this year has had a last lap battle. It is maybe not Abu Dhabi, but just about every race has been so exciting.
Had this been any other track, someone would have come in and put full wets on. Because like I said, I think the pit delta is just way too big here for someone to have realistically tried that strategy. But I think once we got about 5 laps in the finish, it went to full wets.
There was a demolition derby there at the finish with the back markers. Wow, B-Tom, first win of the season. C-Freeze somehow comes away with driver of the day after all the circumstances he faced.
And definitely not strategist of the day, but, you know, yeah.
Yeah, strategy, yeah, no, don't follow the C-Freeze book of strategery.
I mean, you gotta wonder how far up C-Freeze would have gotten if it weren't for that. Because, I mean, just look at some of the huge gaps there were. I mean, it's realistic to say he would have been up around where Andy Wu was. Of course, about the penalty. But yeah, once again, I'll highlight solid drives from Andy Wu and Main Wayne there. Really good drives from them. And then Vader, oh man. Podium streak ends, and he's now outside of a full race. B-Tom now has a full race advantage. Who's going to get the fastest lap here?
I have no idea. We'll have to figure that out.
It looks like it's going to be Vader getting fastest lap.
Oh, that's big.
Yeah, that is. So let's take a look down. Because remember, it's not Ben swerving. And yeah, Vader will get the fastest lap point there. So it's 26 points, exactly 1 race distance. And B-Tom finally gets his win after 4 straight second-place finishes.
And Mebe, finally on the podium. Is this his first podium this year?
I think it might be. Well, we can ask him. It might be. He's been around. Yeah, because I think it was. Because remember, he spun to the lead in Australia. And then he blew his podium. What happened? Somewhere. He got like a... He spun all by himself when he had it in the bag. One race.
China, he ran out of fuel in China, right?
That's right. Yeah, he ran out of fuel. That's what it was. So maybe overdue, but welcome, sir.
Welcome. And of course, it is bright and sunny now that the race is over. Don't you love that?
Well,
at least on my screen it is, but I don't know about you.
Same for mine. I'll invite... Well, I guess we'll have to do the Discord call.
Yes. Yep, I will get them in the chats, and we'll get this podium underway. Man, I've got a lot of questions. I don't know about you, but I've got a lot of questions in store. I think we just need Mebe in here, right? No, we need Silent as well. So we will get this. We'll get this started here.
think we got everybody.
I would mute your PlayStation. All right, I believe that we have everybody in here, so you guys are very on time. So we will get this right underway, and we're going to start off with Mebe, and I believe this is your first podium of the season. Long overdue, but congratulations. Great to see you on the podium after what was just an insane set of circumstances with the rain coming, and then you were under pressure from Vader, and he had his crash. Just talk about it from your point of view and how you were able to get the podium.
Just trying to keep it clean and just maintain with the leaders, try and keep up with the leaders, and yeah, but it was really tough. And then Vader caught up to us, and that's all when like he lost a couple of laps to go. Yeah, I guess 17 wings didn't help, so it was a little tough. In the wet. I didn't know knowing that much, but it's going to be a little bit less. But it's just how it is, anyways. And P3 is good result, and I'll take it.
For sure, and obviously Vader was pressuring you there. Being able to adapt, I think, was huge in this race. Were you good in those first few laps in the rain? Do you think you were able to adapt pretty quickly? Obviously, the conditions were tough, but how do you think you were able to adapt to the rain, because it came in a hurry?
Yeah, I wasn't able to adapt pretty well. I know Taz was struggling a little bit. Salad had the pace on him, and I was trying to keep up with them. Trying to make no mistakes, and I almost won like at least maybe 12 or 15 times. It was really tough, really. So, but yeah, we made it to the end.
You did. Charles, any questions for Mebe, our third place finisher?
Well, yeah, I mean, you're right at a second back top two, there, thereabouts. Sometimes less. Was there ever a point when you thought maybe you would have a chance to get to him, or you just hope you start battling side by side?
In the wood, no. In the wood, I had no chance. I had no feel, no wheel, and it was just, it wasn't fun.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure every single driver out there was spinning, almost spinning every other turn, pretty much. So,
Yeah. Well, I mean, Charles, you said it. I was saying somebody was struggling after they had some sort of a slip, and then you were like, "Well, everybody's struggling." Like full wet conditions at the end.
Struggling, like at the end of that race.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, Mebe, congrats on the P3. It's good to see you in here. I know you've been close to getting one here in the first few races, and hopefully we'll see you back on the podium here next week.
Hopefully, yes. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Yeah, right on. All right, now moving up the podium, going to Silent P2. Man, you and P-Tom, that was a hell of a battle. I know you two have been just stuck like glue this season. It seems like it's always you two battling for the win. You got it last time in China, but B-Tom ended up being victorious. How did you feel you did in the rain? Did you feel like you did well? Was there any big slip-ups that really cost you think? How was it out there?
Honestly, I felt like the driving was pretty all right. Obviously, everybody was struggling in the rain, so it's like everybody was struggling. So I think what caused me the most headache, though, Mebe will confirm, and maybe even Taz could see it, but I had two really insane screens, complete freezes. They weren't even stutters, but they were complete freezes. So I went from 3/10 behind Taz to 9/10 and about to crash into Mebe twice during the race. And after that, I was like, dude, I was so scared for a second because I thought that I would the complete screen freeze would end up in a wall or something. So, but yeah, besides that, it wasn't a bad race.
I gotta ask this question, and this may seem like a stupid question, but we did see somebody stay out when just about everybody came in and pitted there. Was there any consideration from you to push it one more lap on the slick tires?
No, because you could see DRS got disabled super quickly. Jeff offered me the strategy call to switch to inters on that same lap, and then like 3 or 4 corners later, DRS switched off. So if you don't box on that lap, it's like what are you doing?
Oh yeah, you saw Seafreeze there. He was fucking struggling.
I love how everyone still calls him Jeff too.
Yeah, it was tough watching him try and do that lap on those slick tires. I mean, he could not get the foot down, on the throttle, and there was almost a couple of moments where, not of his doing, but somebody almost got into the back of him going into cops. Yeah, it was nuts out there. Charles, you got any questions for Silent?
Oh yeah, it looked like you at least had to pay. First of all, I had those screen freezes issues a lot too. This is a crossplay issue. So yeah, I've gotten used to them, which is kind of sad to say. But I digress. Didn't have any last night.
I just hope they don't have that at Monaco.
Right?
Yeah. It freezes your car, so it's not like you're suddenly be on a wall. You just lose a shit.
That's what it felt like though, because like for me, what happened was the screen completely froze, like as if the game crashed, and then it gave me like a literal PowerPoint slideshow, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frames, and then it snaps back to normal. And like, and in my mind, I'm like, dude, the car's going straight into the wall. Like it's not letting me do anything.
Par for the course. But anyway, it looked like you probably had, at least on an empty track, had the advantage on BTOM there towards the end. It's a double question here. At what point, do you think the wets would have been faster there at the end? And at what point, was there any chance where you thought that maybe you had a chance at seriously overtaking BTOM? Because I know it's tough when you can't get any power down, but was there any chances that you thought that maybe you had it seriously overtaken?
I feel like maybe like lap 20, between 19 and 21, there might have been a slight chance to go on to the wet tire, but that would mean overtaking maybe a couple of cars and having to deal with traffic or whatever. So it's kind of a balancing act. And if you're fighting for the win, it's not always the smartest idea. So, and what was the other part of your question?
Was there ever a time when you thought that you had a good chance to overtake BTOM, or what were you thinking trying to set up the pass? Because it looked like you were a little bit quicker on him, at least when you were able to get back to him a couple times.
Yeah, there were certain corners where I was quicker than Taz, and then Taz was quicker in other corners. So it just came to whoever nailed a lap a little bit more than the next. But as far as setting up an overtake goes, I would say there are some instances in the wet where I kind of got closer, but I think the dirty air really affected it. I did feel like I was the quicker car on average, but mostly in the wet. In the dry, I think I had more of a enter setup, but how do I say it? It's like I feel like there were some chances, but like I just said, it just depends on who manages to get the traction down a little bit better than the other guy on average. But I think what really hurt though was the screen tears and the screen freezes, because when I had those 2 screen freezes, I was pretty close, and that completely undid all the work in the previous laps for me to get close. So those screen tears, I think, were my biggest enemy tonight from keeping me from overtaking Taz.
Well, probably won't make you feel better, but I do feel your pain there. So.
All right, sounds good. Silent, congrats on yet another podium, and good luck in Monaco next week. It's going to be quite interesting.
Yeah.
All right, now we move on to our winner, and this is the first time we've been able to say this this season. I didn't think it would take this long, but nonetheless, BTOM, top step of the podium, and you had to earn it, that's for sure, after what we saw out there on the track. How are we feeling?
Relieved. Just relieved.
honestly, that's probably like the worst driving experience I've ever had. Like the car balance was just horrible in the wet. They wanted to swap ends pretty much everywhere. Traction felt okay, like at first, but towards the end of the race, pretty much like enter the corner, mid corner, the car was just snapping, and I'd have to like catch it and recatch it multiple times, and it was a pain in the ass, to be honest. In the dry, it felt a bit better. I think like had the whole race been dry, it would have been much more comfortable to pull off the wind, or much easier. But yeah, I think part of the reason why I was struggling so much is because of the anti-roll bar settings I had. Normally on this game you run a stiffer front anti-roll bar and a softer rear, but I went the other way around. Just to get a bit of extra rotation in some places. But it seems like in the wet it's pretty much undrivable. So yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like I should have asked the other two people specifically about Monaco. But full qualifying next week, and we saw you ended up getting a pole position today. How are you feeling about that next week? That's kind of a new element that we've had this season, and after getting the win today, just what's your thoughts going into next week with that new element?
Try not to die, honestly.
Right?
Monaco's a weird track. I've noticed that around there in the low speed corners, the car doesn't want to turn at all, especially like the last two corners. Like the chances of you understeering into that wall are probably higher than you hitting anything else, at least in my experience. And then like the mid to high speed corners, well, there's no high speed corners around Monaco, but like the mid speed stuff, it actually rotates pretty well. So it's weird because the car balance changes dramatically depending on the corner. So that might take some time to get used to and practice for the race. But if that's also wet, then man, fuck it. It's just gonna be damage limitation. I wouldn't even expect to get on the podium if it's wet, just because of how this game is. But we'll see.
Yeah, man. The last thing I want to see is a wet Monaco next week. That's for sure.
Yeah. Honestly, whoever thought it was a good idea to put Monaco on the calendar needs to be burned at the stake.
Whoa. You.
Fine. Well, maybe not that much.
Yeah, good job taking that back.
Never allow that person to make suggestions again. Because my goodness, like normally Monaco is fine, but in this game, it's really bad. So yeah,
Sometimes it's gonna
that's what I'm afraid of.
What's up, Charles?
Sometimes you gotta embrace the shit show, you know. It'll be interesting a little bit.
To an extent.
Yeah, it's easier to do that when you're not fighting for a championship, though. So I mean, it's around here you could very easily wipe away like everything you've been building up in the past 6 races. So yeah, I'm not looking forward to it.
Well, I think you pretty much covered everything I had, but congrats. Probably a slightly overdue win. And yeah, you got a bit more to heavy now.
Yeah, it's crazy because the last time I had a win drop this long was back in season 10. Because I didn't win until like the final race of the season. I think before then, like the longest I'd gone since then was like 3 races. So yeah.
And this one was 5 races? 6?
Yeah. Actually, yeah, 6 races because I didn't win the final race in Miami and then didn't win the first 5 this season.
Isn't that crazy? Yeah, I have a winless streak. How long is it? 6 races. That's crazy to me.
Yeah. So I mean, I've been so close so many times. It's just never quite panned out. But yeah.
Yeah. Right on. I think that's gonna wrap things up for the podium interview, Charles. I think we covered the rain, but how do we summarize this race? Because we got to remember the first half was pretty spicy at times. There was a couple of moments of contact, a couple of incidents. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think the thoughts are just, I think we need to, there are some teams that are really rising to the occasion. Some guys are seem to be faltering at every corner, but yeah, it's a pretty good race, pretty entertaining. Like I said, car control with these drivers was really on full display. There's a lot of guys who had really solid drives despite the conditions. And really everyone, inside the top, at least the top 6 or so, definitely had good drives with no real mistakes. So yeah, like I said, there's a lot of good drives out there and a lot of entertaining battles both before and after the rain. So if you watched this whole thing, thank you. We'll be same time next week, but yeah, I feel like that was worth to watch because that race had a lot happen there.
I mean, literally, I said this at the end of the race. It seems like almost every single Platinum race this season has had a last lap battle or a last lap excitement. It's been a really thrilling start to the season, and I really shouldn't say start because somehow we're almost halfway through. Once Monaco gets by and we head on to, I think, France the following week, we'll be over halfway through the season. So, like you said, I think we've really established not just the drivers, but one team in particular, Ferrari. Man, you got Silent and Darth Vader looking like they're the favorites right now, Charles.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see if anyone can come up and challenge them. Right now, I'm not really seeing anyone.
The faster make you go faster.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, that's true, and that's how we're gonna finish this off. I think that's a good quote to end this whole thing. So that will do it from Britain. Yeah, crazy race, lots of rain. It's about time we had a bunch of rain in a race. Hopefully we don't see that next week, but tune in to next week. Monaco, round 7, Platinum class, same time, same place. My name is Camden Luca. That is Sir Charles, and well, we'll see you next week for Monaco. You'll want to tune in and see what happens.